Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna be going over all 7 credit cards that I have right now at age 25 because there's a lot of credit card options out there and I've always found it a bit challenging trying to figure out which cards to get. But thanks to many people I've watched on YouTube, I've found value in learning some of the things that they've done, which has helped me to make some of my own decisions with credit cards. So hopefully some of the things that I'm gonna talk about here in this video from my own personal experience will be helpful to you as well. Now, like I said, I have 7 credit cards as of right now, which may seem like a lot to some people, but not many to others. But in this video, I'll explain exactly why I have that many and why I specifically chose each one. So let's get right into it here with my first credit card. Don't forget to go ahead and like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. But my first credit card that I ever got was the Wells Fargo college cashback card. Now the card that I have right here is what Wells Fargo upgraded me to after I graduated from Penn State back in 2018 and was no longer a college student. This is just their version of a plain no rewards or no benefits cashback card, so I don't really use it that much anymore. But I think that the college cashback card is now closed to new applicants, and when I had it at the time, it was just an okay student credit card because it got me 1% back on everything. My main purpose for getting this credit card was to start building my credit history while paying for groceries and other college things like textbooks. And student credit cards can be a great way to build credit because they're pretty easy to get when you're in college. You just have to use them responsibly because credit cards can be dangerous if you don't use them the right way, especially if it's your first credit card. You don't want to get caught accumulating debt and then hurting your credit score because I've seen many people do that in college. I quickly learned that I needed to pay off those credit card bills for my Wells Fargo student card on time and in full every single month while keeping my credit utilization rate low, and that allowed me to start to build up a credit score to a level that after I graduated college, I was able to easily be approved for some of the better credit cards that I'm going to talk about later in this video. But like I said, I really don't use this plain Wells Fargo credit card that they upgraded me to after graduating from college. I'll just pull it out maybe every 6 to 12 months just to keep the card active since it is my oldest credit card and it helps with the average age of my credit history. Now, before I get to my second credit card, if you want to, go ahead in the comment section below and let me know what your first credit card was because I'm curious how many other people got a student card as their first. Okay, so for my second credit card, I got it after graduating from college and then working full-time for a few months, and that card is the Chase Freedom card, which has actually now been discontinued and replaced by the Chase Freedom Flex. The original Chase Freedom card that I have right here doesn't have all the extra benefits that the newer Freedom Flex has, but it does still have the rotating 5x quarterly categories for things like groceries, Amazon, gas stations, and a bunch of other things like that. Now, when I was looking to get my second credit card, I was deciding between this Chase Freedom card and the Chase Freedom Unlimited because I knew that Chase was a good place to start as a beginner on my credit card journey after doing a little bit of research here on YouTube and on Reddit as well. After looking at my spending habits, it seemed like the Freedom was going to be the better fit out of these 2 no annual fee credit cards because the Freedom would give me more cash back with its rotating 5x quarterly categories compared to just 1.5x back on everything with the Freedom Unlimited. Because of that, I got the Chase Freedom card first with the intention of then going back and getting the Chase Freedom Unlimited later on, which I did and I'll talk about in just a bit. Now, since there's a newer version of the Freedom card, which is the Freedom Flex, I could upgrade to that if I wanted to, but to be honest, I really don't need all those extra benefits offered by the Freedom Flex. I just want those rotating 5x quarterly categories, so I'm going to keep my Freedom card for now, and then probably in the future I'll also pick up the Freedom Flex separately. I'll do that because then I'll also be eligible to get the welcome bonus for that card. All right, now on to my third credit card that I got in November 2019, which is 11 months after I got that Chase Freedom card, and that is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So this was my first premium travel credit card with an annual fee, and I decided to get it because I wanted to continue to focus on Chase credit cards so that I could build a Chase Trifecta setup. Now, the reason why I waited 11 months between getting the Chase Freedom card and the Sapphire Preferred is because I was a new Chase customer and I was still trying to build up my credit score. So I wanted to prove to Chase that I was a responsible credit card user that makes their payments on time and in full every month. And then maybe by doing that in the future, when I wanted to apply for a more premium credit card like the Sapphire Preferred, I'd have a better chance of being instantly approved. And while waiting 11 months was maybe a little long, it worked because when I applied for the Sapphire Preferred, I was instantly approved. Now, the Chase Sapphire Preferred was just recently updated in August of 2021, so of course I did a full new review video for that credit card, and I'll link that up here on the screen right now if you want to go check that out. But when I originally got this card back in 2019, it was offering 2x back on travel and dining, along with a 25% point multiplier when you redeem your points for travel through the Chase portal, along with 1-to-1 point transfers on all points that were transferred out to travel partners. A lot of those benefits still remain the same with these new updates, but Chase also added a few new benefits as well. There was also a solid welcome bonus at the time that I applied for this card, which was $60,000 50,000 Ultimate Rewards points. I felt pretty good about it at the time, but not anymore because Chase is currently offering a record high welcome bonus of 100,000 points. So by getting this card, I was able to use it as my main driver of my Chase Trifecta setup by combining all of the Ultimate Rewards points that I earned from other Chase cards with this card, and then taking advantage of that travel multiplier where I could redeem my points for 1.25 cents per point for travel through Chase's portal. Then in January of 2020, only 2 months after getting the Sapphire Preferred, I was able to complete my Chase Trifecta setup by getting my 4th credit card, the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So with my Freedom Unlimited earning 1.5x on everything, my Freedom earning 5x on rotating quarterly categories, and my Sapphire Preferred earning 2x on travel and dining, along with that 25% point multiplier, I was pretty happy with all the spending categories that my credit cards were covering. Now at that point, I was at 324 within Chase's 524 rule, so I had some options with what I could have done next. I could have looked at getting some Chase business credit cards, but at that time in early 2020, the pandemic was really just starting and I didn't have any side hustles or businesses going on at that time, so I didn't think I qualified for a business credit card. I could have looked into getting some Chase co-branded travel credit cards, but I really wasn't loyal to any one specific hotel or airline, and I liked the fact that I was earning a flexible points currency such as Ultimate Rewards points with some of my other credit cards. So after waiting 10 months through everything bad that happened in the world in 2020, I decided it was time to go after my 5th credit card, and for this I wanted to go for a card that would cover one of my biggest expenses, which is food. That's why in November of 2020, I decided to go away from Chase for a little bit and I got the Amex Gold Card. At this point, my credit score was doing pretty well after a few years of never missing a payment and keeping my credit utilization rate pretty low. So even though this was my first American Express card, when I applied for the Gold Card, I was still approved instantly. Now the American Express Gold does have an annual fee of $250, which was a little bit hard for me to get over at first because I'm just not used to paying annual fees for credit cards that are that high. But the fact that it has $240 in Uber and dining credits made me feel a little bit better because I knew I could get good value from those to offset that annual fee almost every year. Plus, this card was perfect for me to earn more points in that food category because it gets 4x membership rewards points on dining and groceries. There was also a nice welcome bonus offer at the time that I applied for this card of 60,000 membership rewards points, but again, this has now gone up over time and Amex is currently offering as much as 75,000 points. So since I was now in the Amex ecosystem by getting that card, I wanted to try to keep that up with the next card that I got, so I was considering the Amex Platinum. But after seeing welcome bonuses start to rise on several credit cards on the market, and knowing that I missed out on those welcome bonuses and left some points on the table for cards like the Sapphire Preferred, I decided that if I was getting the Amex Platinum, I was gonna wait just a little bit until I saw a higher welcome bonus offer. And sure enough, in February 2021, only 3 months after getting my Amex Gold, I saw that American Express was giving targeted welcome bonus offers of 100,000 membership rewards points for the American Express Platinum card. So I decided to go on Google Chrome and went into incognito mode, tried a few times, and was eventually presented with that 100K offer. That made the Amex Platinum my 6th credit card and my most expensive one to date, with an annual fee of $550 at the time that I got the card, and that annual fee has now been bumped up to $695 along with a whole bunch of other changes that I talked about in another video that I did recently. I'll put that video up here if you want to go check that out too. The 100,000 point welcome bonus makes it easy to justify that annual fee for at least the first year, and then there's also a $200 Uber credit, a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, a few other newer credits as well that help to offset the annual fee. Another cool thing that came along with the welcome bonus for the Amex Platinum when I got this card was the ability to earn 10x points at gas stations and grocery stores for your first 6 months of having the card, which just recently expired for me. Since I could earn a ton of points with that 10x multiplier, I decided to be patient again and wait until that 6-month welcome period was over until I got any new credit cards. And the timing of this 6-month period ending was perfectly aligned with me starting a new business, which is this YouTube channel. Over the past few months, my channel has grown pretty nicely thanks to all of you, and I've passed the limits for YouTube monetization, which means that I now make some money on the advertising revenues that my videos generate thanks to being part of the YouTube Partner Program. With this new income, it was time to expand my credit card portfolio to business credit cards as well, so that I could do things like buy this new camera that I'm filming this video on right now, as well as upgrade my lighting and a few other things on this channel to hopefully provide more value to you as the viewer. And since I've continued to be patient over the past few years, I'm actually under the Chase 524 rule at this time. So a few weeks ago, I decided to apply for my first business credit card through Chase, and I was recently approved for the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, which is now my 7th credit card in my collection. Now I'll be doing a full review video on the Chase Ink Business Cash, as well as a video on how I managed to get approved for my first business credit card. But the Ink Business Cash earns 5x points at office supply stores, 5x points on cable, internet, and phone bills, and then 2x points at gas stations and restaurants. This card also has no annual fee and a welcome bonus offer of 75,000 Ultimate Rewards points after I spend $7,500 in the first 3 months of having it. So from the 7 credit cards that I have as of August of 2021, I just have a couple of takeaways for anyone watching this that is also looking to grow their credit card portfolio. Takeaway number 1 is to be patient. Credit cards are a long-term game, and there's really no need to just rush into getting 10 credit cards over the course of your first year or two. I enjoy things like credit cards and personal finance so much that it led me to start this YouTube channel so that I could talk about these things to a larger audience, and I still only have 7 credit cards, which is not that much when you compare me to some other YouTubers. But I don't care about the total number of credit cards that I have. I just care about the value of those rewards and benefits that they give me, which allows me to travel for free. So just remember to take it slow and enjoy the process of getting one card at a time. Takeaway number 2 is to do your research and ask questions. I try to post helpful videos on this channel as much as possible, but there's so many other great channels and websites out there as well. So absorb as much information as you can, and then when you need to know more detail, go ahead and don't be afraid to ask questions. Feel free to ask me any questions down in the comment section below, because if you go back and look at any of my previous videos, you'll see that I respond to every single comment, since I actually like interacting with people here on YouTube, and I'm really just trying to help people out in any way that I can. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and check out some of my other videos that I'll put on the screen right now, because they'll also help you out on your credit card journey. And be sure to tap the like button down below and subscribe to my channel for more future credit card and personal finance content. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.